USA versus China, the TikTok war, and why it's way more serious than you think. A teenage girl in Ohio posts a dance video. A college kid in California shares a recipe. A grandmother in Texas discovers she can lip sync. Harmless, right? Just another social media app. Except the US government considers TikTok one of the biggest national security threats America faces. The FBI calls it a spy tool. The Pentagon bans it. Congress tries to outlaw it. And the president, both Biden and Trump, want it gone. So what's really going on here? Is TikTok actually dangerous? Or is this just Cold War 2.0 paranoia? Because here's the thing, 170 million Americans use TikTok. That's half the country. And if the US is right, China has access to all of them. Today, we're breaking down the TikTok war. And trust me, this is way more twisted than just dance videos and data privacy. Let's start with the basics. TikTok. You know it. You probably use it. Short videos, addictive algorithm. Gen Z loves it. But here's what most people don't know. TikTok is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company, founded in Beijing, headquartered in Beijing, controlled by the Chinese government. Now, ByteDance will tell you they're independent. They'll say the Chinese government doesn't control them. They'll promise your data is safe. But here's the problem. In China, there's no such thing as an independent tech company. Chinese law, specifically the National Intelligence Law of 2017, requires all Chinese companies to cooperate with intelligence operations. No exceptions, no refusals. So if the Chinese government wants ByteDance to hand over data, ByteDance has to comply. It's not optional. And that's where this gets interesting. TikTok collects your location, your contacts, your browsing history, your keystroke patterns, your facial recognition data, your voice recordings. But all social media does that, you say. True. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. They're all data vampires. But here's the difference. Mark Zuckerberg is a creepy billionaire who sells your data to advertisers. Xi Jinping is a dictator who could use your data to undermine democracy, manipulate elections, and track dissidents. See the problem? Okay, but what's China actually going to do with data from American teenagers? Great question. And the answer is way scarier than you think. Threat number one, surveillance at scale. TikTok doesn't just know what you watch. It knows where you are all the time. Think about that. 170 million Americans carrying a Chinese tracking device in their pockets. In 2022, ByteDance employees admitted they used TikTok to track the locations of American journalists who were critical of the company. Not hypothetical, not theoretical. It actually happened. Now imagine, how many TikTok users work at the Pentagon, the CIA, or Congress? How many military families post videos with their home addresses visible in the background? China doesn't need to hack systems. They just need to watch TikTok. Threat number two, psychological warfare. TikTok's algorithm is arguably the most advanced in the world. It knows what you like better than you do. And whoever controls that algorithm controls what 170 million Americans see. Want to make Americans angrier? Push divisive content? Want to distract from a geopolitical crisis? Flood the feed with cat videos? Want to sell them stuff? Easy. It's not mind control, but it's pretty damn close. Here's the kicker. In China, TikTok is called Douyin, and it's very different. Douyin promotes science experiments, educational content, and Chinese patriotism. American TikTok promotes outrage, division, and whatever keeps you scrolling. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe China figured out how to weaponize social media addiction. Threat number three, intelligence goldmine. China's intelligence services don't need James Bond anymore. They have TikTok, military personnel posting videos, government employees sharing their routines, defense contractors revealing where they work, all publicly available, all perfectly legal to collect. The FBI says China runs thousands of intelligence operations in the US. Most start on social media. TikTok just makes it easier. March 2023, Capitol Hill. TikTok's CEO, Shouzi Chu, testifies before Congress, and it does not go well. Congressman, does the Chinese government have access to user data? Shou, no. Congressman, can you guarantee that? Shou, we have safeguards. Congressman, that's not a yes or no. For 5 hours, Congress roasts this guy. Democrats and Republicans who can't agree on anything unite to grill TikTok. It's like watching a bipartisan roast session. And then things escalate. In 2020, Trump tries to ban TikTok but gets blocked by courts. In 2023, the Biden administration demands ByteDance sell TikTok or face a ban. In 2024, Congress passes a law forcing TikTok to divest from Chinese ownership. But here's where it gets complicated. Who's going to buy TikTok? Microsoft tried in 2020. Rejected. Oracle offered to manage the data. Didn't work. Walmart even threw their hat in the ring. Yes, really. Walmart wanted TikTok. The problem? China won't allow the sale of TikTok's algorithm. And without the algorithm, TikTok is worthless. So TikTok can't be sold. And it can't stay Chinese owned, which means it might actually get banned. And 170 million Americans are not happy about it. Influencers freak out.
This is my job. The government is taking away my free speech. This is unconstitutional.
They're not wrong. Banning an app used by half the country is unprecedented. It does feel authoritarian. But the alternative, letting China control the information diet of 170 million Americans, might be worse. Okay, real talk. Is this really about national security, or is something else going on? Because let's be honest, American tech companies also spy on you. Facebook got caught selling data to Cambridge Analytica. Google tracks your every move. Amazon listens through Alexa. So why is TikTok the villain? Two reasons. Reason number one, TikTok is beating American tech at its own game. TikTok has 170 million US users. Instagram has 160 million. Facebook is losing teens fast. Mark Zuckerberg tried to compete. He launched Instagram Reels, nobody cared. So when politicians talk about protecting Americans, what they really mean is protecting Silicon Valley billionaires from Chinese competition. Meta spent $20 million lobbying Congress in 2023. Much of it focused on getting TikTok banned. Shocking. Reason number two, this is Cold War 2.0. The TikTok war isn't really about TikTok, it's about China. The US sees China as its biggest rival, economically, militarily, technologically. Trade war? Check Taiwan tensions. Check tech competition. Check influence war. Check TikTok is just the latest battlefield. China controls the app that defines how Gen Z consumes information. That's power. Real power. And America wants it back. So here's the million-dollar question. Should you delete TikTok? Honestly, it depends on what you care about. If you're a regular person posting dance videos and recipes, the risk is probably low. China doesn't care about your morning coffee. But if you work in government, defense, or anything sensitive, yeah, maybe reconsider. The Pentagon banned TikTok in 2020. The FBI followed. They didn't do it for publicity. Here's what we know for sure. TikTok collects massive amounts of data. Chinese law requires companies to share data with the government. ByteDance has used TikTok to track journalists. The algorithm can be manipulated to influence what you see. Now, does that mean China is actively weaponizing TikTok against America? Honestly, we don't know. There's no smoking gun. No leaked memo from Xi Jinping saying, corrupt the Americans with dance videos. But the capability exists. And in geopolitics, capability is what matters. If you had access to 170 million people's data, their locations, their habits, their contacts, wouldn't you use it? Of course you would. Anyone would. The question isn't whether TikTok can be dangerous. It's whether we care enough to do something about it. So what happens next? Congress passed a law. TikTok has 9 months to sell or get banned. But TikTok is suing. They're arguing the ban violates the First Amendment, free speech and constitutional rights. This is heading to the Supreme Court, and honestly, it could go either way. Scenario 1, the ban gets upheld. TikTok disappears from American app stores. 170 million users lose access. Influencers lose their income. Gen Z riots. Meta and YouTube celebrate. Democracy is saved or something. Scenario 2, the ban gets struck down. The courts rule that banning an app is unconstitutional. TikTok stays. China keeps collecting data. And the national security threat remains. Scenario 3. TikTok gets sold. ByteDance finds a buyer. The algorithm stays Chinese-owned because China won't let it go, but the data gets moved to US servers. Does that actually solve anything? Unclear. But here's the twist. Even if TikTok gets banned in the US, it won't matter. TikTok has 1.5 billion users worldwide. America is just 10% of that. China doesn't need the US market. They've already won everywhere else. So here's the uncomfortable truth. The TikTok war isn't really about protecting Americans. It's about control. Who controls the information? Who controls the algorithm? Who controls the future? And right now, China's winning. So there you have it. TikTok, an app for dance videos, or a Chinese surveillance tool, or both. Is it dangerous? Maybe. Should you delete it? Up to you. Will you? Probably not. Because here's the thing. We'll trade our privacy for convenience, our data for entertainment, every single time. And TikTok is really entertaining. If you enjoyed this dive into the weirdest tech war ever, hit subscribe. Next up, Taiwan, the tiny island that could trigger World War III and why your iPhone depends on it. Until then, stay informed, stay skeptical. After all, if you're getting spied on, might as well know who's watching.